Hello. Today I really just want to have a session where I get to talk for a while. I've been through a lot of highs and lows in the last couple of weeks, especially with going to Amsterdam to go to this Metams conference. To be honest with you, it really did rock me a little bit because I went there and it was so much fun, and you can see that from the videos and stuff, and I really enjoyed it. But you come back off a high like that, and the world that your day-to-day activities, they just feel lethargic, genuinely. I got back, and then I think the next week it was kind of like, okay, cool, we're making all the content and things like that, and so you're still on that buzz. You come off of it and it's like literally coming off a caffeine high. It just plummets. Maybe that's because I'm not entirely immersed in the space as I want to be, as I'd like to be, as I'm putting steps in the right direction to now. But Lord Almighty, it was difficult. I didn't know like how to explain it, and to be honest, I didn't even know it was happening at the time. It's happened to me once before when I started doing some immersion sessions at work, but to be honest with you, I never really clocked it then as I have now. When you come off of it and you realize that you're not actually contributing to the space in a way that you really want to, I am contributing to Web3. I am doing my due diligence. I am putting in the work to understand the community better. I am putting in the work to understand, the technology better. I just found it difficult, genuinely. When you come off of it and it's like, I felt as if that it was like the end of the world, because you go back to this mundane task that you've got to start chipping away at again to really get towards your end goal, which is what everyone's doing. But you end up seeing that real end goal with these guys, and whether it's a billionaire on stage, or it's talking to some guys that have tokenized the Kiss painting, or it's a 21-year-old that's supposedly made like 300 grand or a couple million in NFTs and crypto, or a 28-year-old that owns an agency he's been building for 2 years, and you're like, well, how the hell do I get into that? Where do I start? And then talking to the gentleman at high snobiety, you go through these like peaks and troughs, and then I never really got a time to sit there and digest it while I was there, because it was constantly go. I would have loved to talk. I think that would have been such a little cherry on top of the whole experience, but it was nuts. As I said, I came back and I felt like I was having to fight again, and not fight in a good way. It's like fight myself to stay interested, because I felt like I was so far off what I could have been doing, and that really hurt me, because it felt like I wasn't enough and I hadn't been doing enough to push the space forward, or push what I wanted to do forward, and actually ultimately just get what I wanted to out of this. And I really struggled with that for the last week, to be honest with you. It was tough. I started putting in the work to be able to do something amazing and actually try something different and go on a new journey. I have been feeling not lost, so to speak, but a lack of obsession, I think is the word. And I've really got to start obsessing and really getting obsessed again. I don't want to live a life of blandness. I want to dive deep into things, and I've always wanted to do that. And sometimes it goes a little bit too far, like when I research things like a screen, for instance, or a laptop or a phone or a plug for my laptop, lights, tech, holidays. I just obsess, and it gets to a point where you're like, Viraj, this is ridiculous now, you've got to stop. I really want to do that again, like really want to do that again. So it's going to be, what can I say really, it's going to be madness, pure madness. And I can't wait to get started. Does that mean that I have to kind of take a step back from other things? Yeah, I might not be in my Smoke Session podcasts every single week, but it was never supposed to be reliant on me. I might not be able to spend time with some of my friends. It's okay. I made that choice, and I do have time for them. It's just instead of me going out of my way. Let me rephrase that. It's not me going out of my way to see them. I'm finding time in a predefined schedule rather than just on an ad hoc basis. Because I really want to lose myself in this space again. I want it to be like when I was unemployed and I was like fighting for my life again, to understand things, like get a grasp of what the hell is going on. Like YouTube research was 24/7, 365. just consuming and understanding what the hell is going on, because otherwise, who knows? But yeah, I mean, aside from that, everything's good. I've come to terms with that, and like I said, I'm doing things and I'm taking steps in the right direction. I can't talk about it yet, but hopefully soon I will have a better understanding and be able to talk a little bit more about it, because I don't think that now is the right time, because things are in motion, they're just not set, and I don't think it would be right to talk about it just yet. What else has been going on? Caught up with some friends, caught up with some old friends. And you know, it's interesting because ultimately I find a lot of joy in spending time with my friends. I find a lot of joy in really just sitting there chatting to them and having a good time. But what I think a lot of people don't realize is that I genuinely actually crave for those moments where I was sitting opposite a friend of mine that I went to high school with. I'm not going to name him. He knows who he is. We went up to dinner in London, and it took a while. We both got there. I was waiting for him for a bit, and then he showed up, and I hadn't seen this guy in it felt like years, like decades, but it'd only been like 6 months. And he's changed so much. I changed so much. Our situations had changed so much. He's taken on a new hobby, and I wanted to know about what it is that he's doing. Did I spend enough time talking to him about himself? No, but it was a back and forth, and I feel that that's one thing I did lose with stopping the podcast or kind of putting the podcast on hold. So I just never got to go through those interactions again, meeting someone new, talking to someone, and really vibing off an individual. A part of me stays alive when I have stuff like that, or I look forward to stuff like that, because it's just different gravy, different sauce. And that's brilliant. That's really nice just to be around. And so I thank everyone that genuinely comes out with me and speaks to me and actually asks me how I'm doing, and asks me, gives me their time of day. Because ultimately, I really do cherish it, even though I want to go on my own little journey of obsessing about something. I really do. Because otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of life, right? I've been thinking recently, and maybe I'll go into this another day, but I want to get a motorcycle license, and I would like to learn how to sail and live on a boat, live on a sailing boat for a while. When am I going to do that? No idea. Do I think it's the right move to make right now? Probably not. But maybe in some years when, we're running a successful business that allows me to live a life that I've always wanted. And that's one of the things, is that I've been thinking about that recently. I've been thinking about that a lot recently. And I'll go into that another time. I just got to crack on. And Mamba mentality, and like Kobe said, just obsess to the point where the person next to you just can't obsess, and you just keep obsessing. Find that thing you want to obsess over. For me, I think it's going to end up being this space, or something in this space, and creating, and cannot get enough of it. I cannot get enough of it, and I love that. I absolutely love that. But yeah, that's me, Tea with V. I hope you enjoyed listening to what I have to say, but it's always a pleasure. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. More of this stuff. I've got to start getting back on this bandwagon, because otherwise, what's the point?